So that kind of leads me to Escape Station, Vector Interplay. This was my first Kickstarter project. I'm starting to use Kickstarter and crowdfunding as a way of helping my little business to keep going. Kickstarter and other crowdfunding platforms were created for indie makers like myself. Vector Interplay was a chance for me to take artwork from all of the different projects I have worked on over the years and create my own little multiverse. It's all these little images and illustrations, some that kind of died on the vine and never went anywhere, some that I did for Inktober. Some things I did as just doodles in my sketchbook. I cleaned them up and put them in this. And it comes with a little zine that I made that has the rules, of course, of how to play this game, but also has a chance for me to share some prose, some encouragement for other artists, and again, express myself through a medium that is really comforting to me, which is print. So yeah, that's Vector Interplay. And again, able to build a lot of community with just playing the game around town.
I like the fact you pull out images from your sketchbook. I always tell students that it's important to keep a sketchbook just to run through like every idea, just jump it in there because you never know what might
Mhm.
not, be something you're using right now. Is definitely something that can come up late years and years and years. I mean, I've surprised myself, like pulling out things from the past here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. Your sketchbook isn't just for the moment, it's for future you. And I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but like the future versions of ourselves are going to thank yourself for making those little drawings and keeping them, stashing them away if you can, because they can come in really handy with personal projects or even client work. Okay, so the next project that I'll talk a little bit about is called Bug Chums Mini Mart Merchant. And Bug Chums is a project that started as really iconography. It was all these little sort of bug drawings that I did. I'm really into iconography. I've done a lot of it over the years for my employers. And I was tired of like the little vector icons I had gotten really good at doing that are just very technical and straight. So I wanted to do something different and turn my attention to digital art that's iconic, but it's hand drawn. So I work in fresco. I tend to do all of my work in fresco right now because it's vector based. And then I do use Adobe Illustrator to clean those up sometimes. But this is a game that is one sheet of paper and you download it and then print it out at home and the instructions come with it. If any of you know of games like, classic games like Yahtzee, then you kind of can guess what this is about. You're rolling dice and then you're using the numbers you roll to fill in little bubbles and score little things and basically run a small mini mart that sells just hatched bugs, trinkets, and goodies in a vending machine that you see on the left. So there's a whole little process, a game loop to it. And at the end of 8 rounds, you score how much zinni or money you earned. So it can be played solitaire or with a bunch of friends. So I've really started to sort of challenge myself to do some things that are downloadable, that are sort of easy to get into, but have like this kind of sweeping possibilities in terms of how many people can get involved. So that's Bug Chum's Mini Mart Merchant. And this Bug Chum project turned into a bigger effort because I am now in the process, my current effort is to release Bug Ruckus. And Bug Ruckus is another game set in that same world. So for you guys out there, all of you who are making your own little worlds, thinking up of your own little settings for stories or artwork that you're going to do, you can find that you can kind of put a big umbrella over lots of projects. It doesn't just have to be one thing if you don't want it to. You can branch into new things. So Bug Ruckus is going to be a card game for 2 players, and it's inspired by classic games like Peanuts and Nerds and Rummy. So if you got a picture in your head of what those games are like, you'll kind of know a little bit of what's coming with this.
Hmm.
But I created this book as really a reference for myself. It's got a bunch of table of contents stuff in it. I put in a bunch of references. It's more of a game where both players have both of their decks, and then they face off in this game of delivering cards to certain piles. So I couldn't really share everything I wanted in the short time we have together, but I wanted to give you kind of a scope of all the different types of media this Bug Chums project has hit. One of the friends that supported Iconica when he was about 8 years old came to my booth at Phoenix Comic Con. He supported that first game I made and then came to me years later and said, I want to make music inspired by something you're doing. And I said, well, why don't we do some music for this? First, I was blown away that a kid came back and was even interested in working with me or collaborating, but it was awesome. And this album he came out with is just super cool.
Mm.
You can find it on YouTube right now or Spotify or Apple Music. It's such a cool example of you never know who the people you're interacting with will become and ways you can have fun collaborating together in the future.
You know, the thread that's coming through these projects is the idea of getting out there, getting your art out there into the world, sharing with people, having an end user in mind who's going to interact with your art. I mean, this is more fun than the average collection of work.
Especially a lot of it that you're self-publishing and then putting on these small runs like that. I mean, from some of my past experiences, it's just a great way to really be a part of the community, because you're really hitting this target market of people who are really, really into it. Usually a lot of other artists or other gamers. So, yeah, it's great to see work keep putting back into that circle.
Oh, thanks so much for noticing that. It is not my first comfort zone to put myself and my stuff like so out there, but practice is helping me to get better about it and to do it with a better sense of like a better effort in terms of quality. So in January next year, I'll be releasing Bug Ruckus on Kickstarter, and it's going to be my second effort, and we'll see how it goes. The first one went really good. It was moderate success, and that's what I'm hoping for right now is just keeps having small wins, producing these small batches. I like to say I want to stay married, so I don't want to turn my house into a warehouse. But that's why I do everything in small batches and produce either locally or in the US.